Yellowstone Panic. How all hell broke loose as Park Road swallowed the cars. This has to do with the huge 7.3 magnitude earthquake of Hebgen Lake in 1959 and what happened. Callum Hoare reports on Express UK. The Yellowstone residents were left terrified when this massive 7.3 magnitude quake struck more than half a century ago, and it opened up roads and even swallowed cars. New lakes were formed. Yellowstone volcano, the huge caldera that lurks below the states of Wyoming, Idaho, and Montana, is referred to as a supervolcano because it has the ability to inflict devastation on a worldwide level. It's always monitored by the Yellowstone Volcano Observatory U.S. Geological Survey for signs of an upcoming eruption. Scientists in charge, Mike Pollan, recently revealed there had been more than 135 earthquakes in the region in the last month, including a swarm of 78 located tremors. There were another 30 outside of the area northwest towards Montana. If you count them all together, there's over 250. Now, while there are concerns over their possibility to trigger an eruption, the largest over this period was a 2.9 magnitude quake, and there was another was a 3.5 just south of Wyoming, which was not felt by anyone in the park. But Dr. Pollan reminded viewers of the 1959 Hebgen Lake earthquake that occurred August 17, stating, "I think this anniversary is a good reminder to us that earthquake hazards in the Yellowstone region are pretty significant." The earthquake at that time caused massive damage, a lot of earth changes, over 12 million in repairs to highways and timbers. Debbie Hamilton, the youngster when this natural disaster struck, said she recalled in detail the events in a 2014 tribute. She said, "All hell broke loose and we watched the entire mountain go down." My grandmother Irene said they watched in horror and complete helplessness as they saw people hanging from trees trying to escape the mountain's collapse. It was a landslide, in other words. And she said, "We watched cars driving down the roads. The roads would open up right in front of them, swallowing the vehicles." Now, Molly Hutz, writing in Montana, the magazine of Western History, that same year, gave her side of the story. People were in the Madison River, displaced by slides, engulfed in tents. Many of the park's hot springs even changed temperatures. The springs' colors changed as well as minute particles of broken rock muddied the waters. In the northwestern corner of the park, large cracks emitted hot steam. USGS maintained gauges, monitored how the flow in Hebgen Lake revealed the amount of water in the Madison River increased from 350 cubic feet per second a day approximately 2 weeks before to 1,100 during the last 10 days of August. So it was about 3 times as much as was flowing through the Madison River. The Yellowstone National Park worker at the time, Gabe Beck Copenhaver, recounted how Old Faithful area was in chaos as tourists and staff tried to figure out what to do. She stated in 2014, "Only the California tourists more familiar with earthquakes seemed somewhat calm. All the tourists were determined to get their cars and flee. A string of cars with headlights dancing into the clear night sky were lined up for exodus from the quake area. We spent a restless night at the lodge on the floor of the main room. We were all very frightened with only flashlights and candles for light. Strangers clung to each other as the long night crept slowly by. Praying could be heard everywhere. Only after 3 weeks, the dammed river created a lake more than 170 feet deep. The lake the quake created now covers an area 5 miles long and a third of a mile wide. That's called Earthquake Lake. Today, tourists to the area can stop by Earthquake Lake Visitor Center, which is situated 27 miles north of West Yellowstone, to relive what had happened in those days. In the meantime, the various earthquakes and the swarms that are taking place currently are explained by USGS to be the delayed aftershocks of the 1959 Hebgen Lake earthquake of 7.3 magnitude. Now, looking at the map of Seismo Berkeley, we have quite a few earthquakes in the area of Wyoming supervolcano. One of the explanations could be because of the Ridgecrest earthquake, July 4th, July 5th. The 7.1 of July 5th was quite strong. We had a 7.1 magnitude in Ridgecrest exactly 20 years ago, again in August of 1999. And a few weeks after that earthquake, Yellowstone had earthquake swarms. And when we figured that out, when we read that article stating that, and after the July 5th, 2019 quake, I made a video commenting, well, we should not be surprised if we do see Yellowstone earthquake swarms after this Ridgecrest earthquake. And it seems that because of the fact that also we've since learned that the magma plume, which is under Yellowstone, is the same magma plume that we have under Ridgecrest Long Valley caldera, and it's the same magma going into the Cascadia Arc high threat volcanoes. This whole area basically is connected. All these areas are connected with each other, seismically and volcanically. Let's take a look at what's happening, because we have some more earthquakes this past hour over Salton Sea and Ridgecrest. Seismo Berkeley, and here we are at the Ridgecrest area right here. This is the Salton Sea. This is Los Angeles under here. This is the Salton Sea area. We have since learned that there is a very new connection in that it's a fault, an area of faults that have been found to be connected with San Andreas, the southern part of San Andreas Fault, and it's acting like an extension of the San Andreas. And even though they're fault lines that are separate, they act as they're one with the San Andreas fault line. We see that going on with the Walker Lane fault system right here. It's acting as one fault, but it's hundreds of faults acting as one. And this is, of course, the Yellowstone area, and you can see what's happening there. The blue are today's quakes, the yellow are the past weeks, and the red is the past hour. Let's go. Searles Valley. Okay, that's Ridgecrest. And let's just go in a little bit more. Okay. And you can see what's happening there. This is Long Valley Caldera. Tom's Place. They don't say Long Valley Caldera. They say other things like Mammoth Lakes and Mono Lake and Inyo Craters and Tom's Place and Mammoth Mountain, Mammoth Lakes. This is all, of course, Long Valley Caldera supervolcano. Long Valley, as you can see right there. Okay? This is it right there. That whole area is Long Valley supervolcano. And this Owens Valley area is very dangerous because it gives megathrust earthquakes. This is the area of the Walker Lane fault system, which gives megathrust earthquakes. And this is San Andreas, and this is the Garlic Fault. And this is where we recently had a 4 magnitude earthquake yesterday. It was felt all along Los Angeles. And we have a tremendous, this is just, the red ones are the past hour. You don't get fooled by the same size circles. They could be one size, but it doesn't mean that they're just as, you see 2.3 magnitude was the same circle size as the 0.5 magnitude. And we even have some more meandering into Nevada. This is also a test site. We realized, I came across by chance an article stating that the geologists were trying to ascertain how seismic waves act and how they are so different between the normal quakes and the man-made quakes, the man-made induced earthquakes, especially by underground nuclear blasts. And the last one was in the spring of this year, in this area, Yucca Flats, the Yucca Flats area. And I just happened to take one point, and it was an area of about 88 miles from Ridgecrest. I'm sure that if I had looked at the border of the Yucca Flats area, it would have been much closer to Ridgecrest. And obviously, if you're blasting in a volcanic area, it's not good, because you do have a magma chamber there, and you have a geothermal plant there, one of the biggest in the country, and it's never a good idea to be blasting nuclear underground things near a volcanic field. And not only volcanic field, but you have a supervolcano next to you as well. All right, but we started this talking about Yellowstone. Okay, so let's go. This is Yellowstone right here. And this is today's quakes. Today's quakes. This was the big one that we had. Oh, they don't have it here. What is this one here? Let's see. That is 3 magnitude 3 days ago. Okay, I didn't notice that. Okay, I didn't notice that. This is 1.2. Okay. And this is our area, which is pretty rocking. If we look at magnitude -5, something's wrong with that. How can you have a minus magnitude? All right. Okay. Okay, this is yesterday's earthquake of 4 magnitude that we said that was felt all along Los Angeles. Okay, September 10th. And I did notice that we also had a 4.6. We had a 4.6 here as well in Nevada. Magnitude 4.6. The depth of 9 kilometers, 5.7 miles. So that's pretty big, as you can see. Very big. Okay. And if we go in more, we'll get our... Okay, you notice that most of the earthquakes are here. Before these came up, we had 66, now it's 125. Most of them are here. South or West Thumb Lake. And then we had the other ones here in Montana. Okay, these are another 135 quakes right here. This one was August 16, 4.2, and that was after the August 15 of 3.5. So you see that there are some big earthquakes in the area. Now that we're here, let's go to find out what Steamboat Geyser is doing. Okay, here we are. No, it still has not erupted. It's still going strongly. As you can see, it's pretty long. It's longer than the other 3 phases. It's almost twice as long, I would say. So I'm not gonna make any more predictions. I made 2 and I was wrong. I expected it to be this short as the other 3. Well, it's almost twice as long now. And we'll see. We'll keep a lookout for it to see what's happening tomorrow. If you'd like to join me on my Patreon account, you will hear content not covered by mainstream media. These riveting stories will be based on my research, and I will state my opinions and give my personal insight on diverse and controversial subjects and world events not covered by mainstream media, and not supported by YouTube guidelines. So whatever I have on my Patreon, most of those will not be on my YouTube channel. Please consider becoming a member today. More of the most significant and important videos will be on my Patreon channel. Your support helps me to continue my research and keeps this YouTube channel alive. And we depend on your support, your generous charity, because we help economically challenged families here in Athens, Greece, in Kapota, and we also help the young generation with university tuition and the community around our church. Thank you.